Did anybody else watch this video and the first thing that went through your mind is America? Fuck yeah! I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. When does parody parrot reality, and when does reality parrot parody? I don't know. It looks like Mark Zuckerberg has had an operating system upgrade with a little bit more bling to it, a little bit more Joe Rogan blinginess to it. Oh well, we all we all go through our midlife crises in whatever way that we do. Some of us travel around the country. Others of us look like overage Jersey boys. I don't know. Gotta do what you gotta do in life. So, anyways, I guess you folks like commentary on the tech world. So, I want to talk about Mark Zuckerberg today. Because, again, at least some interesting things are going on in the actual technology world now. So Mark Zuckerberg for Meta is saying that their new shift is essentially they're getting rid of the fact checkers. The fact checkers are politically biased, and he's sick of the past 4 years of President Biden trying to censor social media. And America is the center of free speech in the world. So he's going to be working with Trump to espouse American values, like jackbooted stormtroopers breaking into your house to find illegal immigrants, or militarily conquering Greenland for some reason. You know, the American values none of us actually want to talk about. Anyway, so I saw this video, and you folks like my opinions about these things. And what do I think about this video? It's gonna come as a surprise. It's gonna come as a shock. Yeah, I think it's stupid. I think it's funny on so many levels. I think it's concerning from a political standpoint, but from Facebook itself, yeah, this isn't why I left Facebook, and it's not going to be the reason that I came back to Facebook. I think one of the big problems we have right now, right, with Elon Musk saying that, Twitter is the global town square, is right. All these big tech folks in Silicon Valley with the brain syphilis, right? They're so perverted in the head, that they believe that everyone in the world is like on social media. Right. So if there's a conversation on social media, that's what everybody is talking about. When the reality is it's not. So essentially, what happens is people get hyper focused on the people that don't stop talking on social media, and then most of us in this world, I'm just trying to push our little balls forward. Nobody is listening to at all. And so you get this very skewed insanity that I think is going on. Again, most of us are worried about paying the mortgage and dealing with inflation and that type of thing. And yeah, you get so much of the rest of this insanity. So I haven't been on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook for years. Yeah, a long time, like a long, long time. Maybe a decade. Golly, I'm getting old. I can say things like that. Might be a decade, probably a little less than a decade, but basically I haven't been on Facebook for a long time. So I got into all social media in about 2009. And again, I was an adult. I was an adult with a house, with a wife, with a business when I got into social media. Anyways, right? On that social media, we're all trying to figure out what the hell social media was about. And to be clear, why I originally fell in love with Facebook was corgi butts. Was corgi butts. Oh, I did not look at kitty porn. I looked at corgi porn. Right? There's just something about a corgi butt. If you know a corgi butt, you know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, we had two corgis at the time. Nothing in the world more adorable than a corgi butt. Anyways, so I got on Facebook and I started following all these other people that owned corgis. And it was just a corgi fest. Do you remember Facebook 2010? Remember when you go onto Facebook and you had your version of corgi butt and you went on? It was like, oh, it's a world of corgi butt all day long. You wake up in the morning, you're a little tired, look a little corgi butt. makes you happy, wakes you up a little bit. Oh, you're a little sad, you're a little depressed. Look at a little corgi butt, puts a smile on your face. Right? That was the thing. Right? That you go there, you find like-minded folks that like your corgi butts. You go and it's just you're just covered in corgi butt. That was what I liked. That was what I liked Facebook for. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough money in corgi butt apparently. Like, because it's not addictive enough. Like, I mean, you go to look at corgi butts, and that's the thing. It's like a platform. So I might go and look at corgi butts 4 times a day. But to the greedy, perverted bastard like Mark Zuckerberg, me looking at corgi butts 4 times a day is not enough. It's insatiable. They need you to be looking at their site all the time. So then they tweak around with their algorithm. So instead of seeing the stuff that you actually wanted, what you actually came there for, you start seeing all kinds of other stuff. And I've talked about this before. I'm a family member, great family member, like the family member, no issue with the family member, right? But every time I go on, he would put on posts about Benghazi. Remember Benghazi? Benghazi and the Second Amendment. And that's the thing, like when you get together for holidays, you just don't talk about certain things. There's just certain subjects you don't talk about. But then all of a sudden, is like Facebook turned into like the worst family holiday. What if you had a family holiday where everybody said what was exactly on their mind, and then that holiday it lasted 365 days a year? And so what got me to get off of Facebook was I was just tired of Benghazi and Second Amendment and all this, right? That anger, that visceral, that anger, that trying to ping you, that emotional response to get you to come back 1,000 times a day so they can drain the wealth from your soul, right? Your soul is 1% gold. So for them to get that gold, they got to start sucking your soul out day after day just so they can refine that 1% so that Mark Zuckerberg can buy, God knows, another 100 yachts or whatever the hell he's going to do with his, hundreds of billions of dollars or whatever. So anyways, that's why I got off Facebook. That's why I got off Facebook. That's it. It was actually before Trump. I do believe it was for Trump. Anyways, I've talked about that before with Twitter. Like I was on Twitter until I got bored of Twitter. And then Roberto Blake got into a shit fit with me. And then he wanted to send me his tax returns for some reason. And then I was like, why am I here? I did not join a social media site so I could see Roberto Blake's tax returns. I just don't care, right? Got off of Twitter. And actually, curiously enough, at this point in time, I'm pretty much off of YouTube now, too. It's been over a month. I basically stopped watching YouTube videos a month ago. I've done this a couple of times, but a month ago. And yeah, I'm pretty good. Because basically what I find with all the social media at this point in time is it's no longer good. It is no longer the world of Ze Frank. Again, what got me into Facebook was corgi butt. You know what got me into YouTube? Again, back in about 2014. So I started doing videos in 2009. I swear to you, I did not really watch YouTube videos until like 2014. Do you know what got me hooked to YouTube? Ze fucking Frank. Remember his old videos? Don't they seem quaint now? Don't they seem so quaint? Anyways, right? There's one guy staring at you in the eyes, never blinking, saying the most adorable things in the world, saying verbal corgi butt, right? Anyways, that is no longer the world of YouTube. And that's what I find with most of these sites anymore, is that basically these platforms, basically what they've done is they've devalued the human life down to be worth almost nothing, right? You're worth a few pennies. The problem is by devaluing people to such a massive degree, then they need to consume people even more, right? You need to be on these platforms all the time. It's like, think about email. Like you pay for email. You pay $5 a month for email or whatever. Maybe you do Gmail or whatever. But that's the thing. Like I get on, I look at my email, I respond to an email, I'm off. It doesn't matter, right? It's a nice, relatively clean experience, and there's no addiction mechanic there. The interesting thing again with Facebook or YouTube or trying to do with Twitter or whatever else is they need that addiction mechanic. They can't have you coming on the site once a day or twice a day or a couple of times a week because that does not feed Mark Zuckerberg. He can't get that fraction of a percent of gold out of your soul if you only come on every once in a while. And so they need you to continuously come onto these platforms so they can extract the value of your soul, destroy society, so that they can get a couple of extra pennies, so they can get a big ass yacht, right? It really, right? And I honestly believe that I think all of these systems actually have to work this way. I've been thinking about that with Blue Sky, right? So Blue Sky is supposed to be like the savior from Twitter. So, anyways, I don't, again, Twitter was not good when Jack Dorsey was in charge. And with Elon Musk, I don't even know what Elon Musk is doing. And I'm not saying that about pedo guy or what. No, I don't even understand what's going on with Twitter. Like, if you look at Twitter, basically he mandates policies. These policies come and these policies go. And again, there's no stability. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. It's so that's why I didn't go. That's why I didn't create another account on Twitter, because I just don't understand what's going on with Twitter. So, anyways, I created a Blue Sky account. So I created a Blue Sky account with the idea of I can share links for the things that I'm currently working on, right? So we do all these classes for Silicon Dojo. I'm doing research. I find an interesting link about transformers using PyTorch. I can share that. It gives me a way to share it. So it's public. People can see it. Whatever, maybe we can get some discussion going on, whatever, right? So I look at Blue Sky as basically like a social bookmarking thing, which that has a use to me. But what's interesting, right? So I go there and I decide to follow some accounts. So I follow Ars Technica and Gizmodo and Engadget and basically all these tech sites, MIT Review and that kind of thing. And then I follow like two others. So I follow a green alien. There's an adorable little green alien guy I follow. I don't know. It's like Corgi Buzz. Like, oh, that's cute. Anyways, I follow that. And I do follow John Green. I follow John Green because I got to agree with him. Tuberculosis is a bad thing. Anyways, what's interesting is if I go to my feed, if I go to my discovery feed, do you think my discovery feed is full of CNET and ZDNet and other tech stuff? Right. So I follow all these tech sites and then John Green and an alien. What do you think my feed would be full of? If you answer TDS, you'd be correct. So much Trump derangement syndrome. So much. Just, you're just like, what the fuck? So I come to Blue Sky. Blue Sky is supposed to be the new platform, supposed to be the place to get away from everything. And then, so instead of being right-wing MAGA crap, it's TDS crap. And I think the problem is, with all these social media sites, is that's what they've got to do. I honestly believe social media, as we've had in the 2010s, has to be predicated on evil. I do not believe these companies are viable if they, at their core, are not evil. They have to milk your soul. And the moment they stop milking your soul, everything is going to go to hell. My personal belief there. So anyways, what does this have to do with Facebook's new thing? Well, one, I ain't going back. I don't, right? So anyways, Mark Zuckerberg comes on now, and so he's saying his new change for Facebook is that there's been too much censorship. And that's hilarious. So he is literally stating that Facebook has been censoring people for at least the past 4 years, probably the last 8 years or more. So he comes out to basically say that Facebook, Meta, Mark Zuckerberg has been censoring the American public for quite a long time at this point. And now he's saying censorship is bad. Anyways, so they've had basically this fact-checking, this misinformation thing going on where they hire people to take a look at fact checks and misinformation. I think the big problem here, though, again, when you start looking at fact-checking and misinformation, so the idea is they're going to get rid of that and they're going to go to community notes. I think the bigger issue, again, goes back to the algorithm. The reason that fact-checking and misinformation even became a thing is because their algorithm keeps pumping crap to everybody. Right? If you had a sane algorithm, I actually don't think misinformation and fact-checking would be of that big a deal. Again, I go and I look at Blue Sky. Right? So I've gone to Blue Sky and I have said I want to see less of TDS. I have blocked people who inundate my feed with TDS. I've done everything possible to get rid of TDS in my feed. And do you know what I get? Piles and piles and piles and piles of TDS. Right? Here's the thing. You wouldn't have to worry about fact checking and misinformation so much if you didn't inundate your users with garbage to begin with. And so the thing he's talking about now, he's like, okay, so we're going to stop doing the fact checking and that kind of thing. But the issue is if you don't deal with the algorithm, then people are just going to keep getting hammered with crap. And again, the question then becomes, is that a valuable experience for anybody? Wow, I can get hammered with more stupid crap. And then he talks about in this where that for a while, people want to see less politics. And he was like, yeah, well, there was a time that people want to see politics, and then we realized that politics was making people angry, so we're showing them less politics. But now we're going to show people more politics. And so again, think about this, right? So they're getting rid of the misinformation and the moderation thing. And now they're going to be ramping up how much politics you see in your feed. Again, how is this valuable for anybody other than the wannabe political trolls out there? Is this an experience that you want to partake of? And then he talks about for community relations and that type of thing, basically they're going to be moving that department from being physically located in California to being physically located in Texas. Because they want to make sure that their departments aren't overly politically biased. Now, the funny part is, he didn't say he's going to move this department from California to Ohio or to Utah or to Nebraska or North Carolina. You heard about North Carolina? We got Research Triangle, someplace that I like. No, it's going to move it to Texas because that's what all the other cool kids are doing. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing with the Jersey boy fucking wannabe that when Elon Musk buys Twitter and fires so many people, that within like a month or two, Mark Zuckerberg's firing 10,000 people? Huh. Funny how that is. Isn't it interesting, right? Elon Musk does community notes for moderation. And then Mark Zuckerberg does community notes for moderation. And then Elon Musk is moving things to Texas. And then Mark Zuckerberg is moving things to Texas. It's almost like no matter how many billions of fucking dollars you've got, you're always gotta be a dipshit fucking wannabe. Come on. Come the fuck on. What the fuck Jersey shit is that garbage? Anyways, did you notice too? He got Dana White. Dana White is now going to be on the board of Meta. So real alpha men can run Meta. American alpha men. America, fuck yeah! Isn't that what that says? Anyways, it's his company, as they say. He's got all the voting rights. You might own stock in that company. You might own a few $1 billion in stock in that company, but that jackass has all the voting rights. Anyways, so that's the world we get to with Facebook. I would say that Mark Zuckerberg is bending the knee to Trump, but that assumes that boy got knees. I don't think he's got knees anymore. I just don't. I think his leg now ends right above where most people's knees are, and he's just like hobbling around on the floor, kissing everybody's asses at this point. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird, like what I found weird about Facebook over the years. And again, one of the things I found weird about the whole big tech world is how there's this idea that it's innovative. There's this idea that it's cutting edge and all this type of stuff. And as I've talked about for a while, it's really not, right? If you look at Facebook, Facebook is basically the same piece of shit product it was well over a decade ago. Right? Again, Instagram, that was going to compete with them, he just bought and then basically keeps it how it was a decade ago. WhatsApp, he thought was going to compete with them, so he just bought it. Basically how it was when they bought it. Oculus, he bought. And then that was the thing. Like Oculus was a proof of concept that you needed to drive into the future. And he basically just drove that and the entire company into the ground. And so you have these things. We have these major tech companies that are so fundamentally stuck in the mud with CEOs that instead of actually being innovative, they're putting gold chains on and trying to play us. I just don't see how this works out well. I just don't see how this works out well. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, as far as Facebook is concerned, I think they've got bigger problems. I think that's one of the big questions here. Is this what normal people actually want? When you look at Facebook, when you go back to Facebook, what I thought we were buying into was essentially SMTP 3.0. So SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, is basically a protocol for how emails are sent. And so the idea being back in like 2010 is like SMTP has been around for a long time. Isn't there a better way to do communication? So back then in the 2000s, there was a concept called unified communication. Woo! And the idea is you'd have one platform where you could do voice communication or video communication or text or essentially email, that type of thing. And it would be a one platform. There's something called SIP, Session Initiated Protocol, that was supposed to allow for that. So you would actually have a SIP address, right? So if somebody wanted to call you, they would use your SIP address just like they use your email address now, right? It was going to be this really great thing. So anyways, Facebook, they come out, so they have these walls, they allow you to be friends with people. They start adding these other communication things, and it's like, oh wow, what if you have this unified communication platform to make life easier for everybody, right? And then again, if you want to put ads, right? So if you have something to scan what's being talked about and then just plug an ad right beside it, I see an ad, I get free service, whatever. That seems to be good. But the problem is, again, what we've seen over the past well over a decade, 15 years at this point, is that there hasn't really been innovation, and basically these companies have just demanded more and more and more and more out of the users, right? It's been an exceedingly abusive, quote unquote, relationship. You can't even call it a relationship because they don't see you as shit, right? They demand from you and you will fucking submit, right? They don't even want to hear it, right? All they want from you is your view. Beyond that, you can shut the fuck up, right? And the thing that I look at with this is I just don't understand how this maintains viability. Why is this fun? Again, that's what I talk about with Facebook. Corgi butts is fun. It solved a problem. I did not have enough corgi ass in my life. I got all the corgi ass I need, right? It solved a problem. Again, if you look at Twitter, what was Twitter originally? It was about for telling people where the good parties were at South by Southwest. And then it turned into whatever the hell it is. Again, even YouTube and so much of this other stuff. One of the questions I'd ask is as they've been on this hell-bent quest to get more and more eyeballs and suck more and more out of your soul, at what point does it just not become interesting for users? I've been off of Facebook for however long, I don't care. I've been off of Twitter for however long, I don't care. Again, I've been off of basically YouTube for a month, right? Doesn't. I saw a Gearling video today. I literally, because the Pi 5 came out with 16 gigs of RAM. So I did watch a Gearling video today. And I kind of got to say, I was like skipping through it. Once you get your brain off of the addiction of these shitty ass drugs, these shitty ass platforms, you realize how just garbage they are. And so with Zuckerberg coming on, and basically saying, they're going to get rid of moderation, and then they're going to do community notes, and they're going to move these people around, and they're going to do more freedom of speech theoretically. At the exact same time, they shove more garbage, or try to shove more garbage down your throat. My question is why? What about this sounds like a good time other than the people that are already in the throes of the addiction? Right? The people that are deep, dark, down in the worst depths of the addiction of the drugs these jackasses have peddled for the past 15 years. Other than those fucking disgusting fucking miscreants on their knees slurping up the bits and bytes off the platforms, other than those people, who else is gonna look at this crap and say, oh yeah, give me some of that? That's my thought. That's my thought. Again, as I talk into a camera that you're gonna watch on YouTube. I'm gonna tell you, you know the first rule of drug dealers: don't try your own supply. I am creating content for you. Doesn't mean I'm gonna be sniffing this stuff myself. Anyways, that's what I kind of think about and ponder. Again, I just sat there and I watched him. It was just so funny, like looking at him. And again, with this whole like Joe Rogan world, and all these people are trying to be man, and he's got that stupid ass black shirt on with his fucking. Are we allowed to? It's anyways with that dorky ass, that Jersey gold chain, being like, yeah, we're getting back to being America. I was like, okay, dude. Whatever. Dear Mark Zuckerberg, I have a question. How much money does it take to become a man? Like, how many billions of dollars will it take for you to be secure in your manhood? Can we all just do a crowdfunding campaign? Maybe we can just push you over the edge. Maybe you're kind of close to feeling comfortable in your own skin. We can just toss a couple more dollars at you, and you can stop play acting, whatever the hell it is you think you're play acting. Jesus. That's big tech nowadays. They're fucking LARPing. They're LARPing. What do you get with LARPers who have billions of dollars? Remember that? I don't know if you ever did LARPing. Like Darkon back in the day. All right, so many of us would come with our little duct tape armor and little fucking like duct tape weapons or whatever. And then again, if you go back to the 90s, we did have like some cute computer people or some people that made money, like these 20-year-olds that actually got into jobs for making a lot of money. And they come in like with the real fucking plate mail armor, and their weapons would look fucking beautiful. The rest of us are running around with duct tape shit on. Yeah, I feel like in 2025 we've taken just dark on. Like we're seeing the what's happened with this with like the dark on economy. We now have LARPers running around with billions of dollars. Yeah, they're no longer running around with plate mail armor and really nice weapons. They're now building their own castles and shit. Like what? God damn it. Oh, anyways. So that's my thought. So what do you think about this? Free speech. Are you excited about it? Are you interested in it? Are you going to go back to Facebook? Are you still on Facebook? Is any of this, again, with any of this garbage that Zuckerberg is tossing around or Musk is tossing, is any of this making you more interested in social media? And again, like, are you using Blue Sky? Are you noticing what I notice? Where when you go to Blue Sky, you're just getting a different flavor of idiocy. It's like the exact same basic technical thing is just giving you a different flavor of idiocy. Instead of MAGA rants, you're getting TDS, meltdowns. I don't know. Put your thoughts down below if you want to. So anyways, I'm gonna keep working on Silicon Dojo. So we're down to 4 classes. We have 4 classes I have to finish for the Python self-study series. And they're the sucky ones. So how to install Python on Mac, how to install it on Linux, how to install it on Windows, and then setting up your VS Code environment. That's all I have to finish. And then that'll be done. So maybe that'll be done today or tomorrow. So that's what I'm currently working on. If you haven't taken a look at Silicon Dojo, silicondojo.com. You can go take a look at silicondojo.com. So yeah, let me go do some real work. And I think like for me, what I honestly believe, or maybe what I want, I think Wix is the future. Have I told you how much I love Wix? I love Wix. Well, because I think about that, like with Silicon Dojo. Because again, I've been doing that, right? I graduated high school in '94. I've been an adult before the internet was the internet. And that's what I look at. Like with the power of the internet, it was supposed to be for like-minded people to be able to come together and to be able to communicate. And instead, we've just gotten whatever the crap show is of social media. So one of the things that I do wonder in the 2020s going into the 2030s, if we're going to start getting more compartmentalization of the internet. So instead of so the people that run Reddit, the people that run these social media sites, right? They have proven that they are degenerate perverts whose brains are being rotted by digital syphilis, and that they simply do not grasp what being a decent human being is, right? For whatever reason. What allowed them to be successful in this particular industry is the exact same reason why they're deficient as human beings. And so one of the things that I wonder with that is like going for the next couple of decades, now that people know the power of the internet, now that communication tools have become easier, bandwidth is less expensive, that kind of thing, are we going to start getting more, again, compartmentalization? Where people start going to specific, essentially, sites, and you have specific platforms for specific things, right? If you come to Silicon Dojo and you spout off about either MAGA or TDS, you're fucking gone. You're fucking gone, right? Because that's not what Silicon Dojo about. There is no place in Silicon Dojo where we talk about freedom of speech for spewing garbage about politics, right? What is Silicon Dojo about? It's about empowering people with practical technology education, right? If you want to argue about Linux versus Windows 11, God bless. Citrix versus VMware, God bless. MAGA versus Kamala Harris, go get fucked. Right? But that's the thing. Like when you have a platform or when you have a community that is focused around a specific concept, it makes it a lot easier. You're not even worried about the misinformation or any, because it's like, does this fit into this conversation? Right? So if you have a game night, where people are coming together to play board games, right? And you're sitting there and you're playing board games, and somebody gets into two people get into an argument, and one people says checkers is best, and the other person says chess is best. You're going to be like, oh crap. Okay, people, calm down. But then you're going to be like, oh, how do I deal with this? Because it's a board game meetup. And so if they want to argue about whether chess or checkers is good or bad, it's like, oh. But right, if you get one person stands up and starts screaming about MAGA or screaming about TD, fuck off, go away. You're trying to, whatever my freedom of speech. No, fucker, you can go the fuck outside and tell anybody what you want, your stupid fucking ideas. But in here, we're doing board games that has nothing to do with either of those things. So no, right? And I think that's the thing, like with communities, right? If you actually create a community, you also know what are the topics of discussion and what are not the topics of discussion. And when people go afield, it's a lot easier to just say no. Hey, look, you're going to have to calm down on this or you're not going to be welcome anymore. Anyways, those are my thoughts. But I'm just a moron with a webcam. So put your thoughts or whatever down below. Go visit silicondojo.com if you want to visit silicondojo.com. And I'm going to be working on how to teach people to install Python. I know you're like, what? Installing Python's easy. Yeah, I know. It's easy all the way up until you try to teach somebody to install Python. That's when it gets complicated. Anywho, see y'all later.